Motor Week is made possible by
Hello. I was gonna wait for more people to come, but we've got a couple, and that's all right. Welcome. Thank you for coming on the stream with me tonight. Okay, we've got a few more people coming in now. Um, Look at my hair. It's so pretty. I went to a hairstylist today. It was a gift, a birthday gift from somebody I love. My birthday's next week. I'll be turning 29. And yeah, my second ever trip to a hair salon. And I love it very much. It's very nice. So today we're gonna be going to the moon again in Kerbal Space Program, but we're gonna do something different. So the normal PT Moonsplorer vehicle in Kerbal Space Program, uh, the final stage or whatever of the rocket um, goes to the moon, the whole thing lands on the moon, and then the whole thing comes back up and goes home. But that's not how the Apollo space program, the Apollo spacecraft, did it in the real world. Um, how the Apollo spacecraft worked was that there was a separate command and service module, or CSM, and there was a separate lunar module, LEM or LEM or Lunar Excursion Module. Um, and so once the Saturn V rocket had done its job of moving the Apollo CSM and the lunar module into Earth orbit, the two spacecrafts stayed together, went into lunar orbit together, and then the Lunar Excursion Module detached from the Apollo CSM, went down to the moon, uh, and then when it was time to leave the moon, the LEM itself was actually in two parts. There was the descent module, but then when it was time to leave the moon, it actually detached from the descent module, and then you had just the ascent module, which was even smaller, which went back up into lunar orbit and docked with the Apollo CSM. Or actually, it wasn't even the ascent module. Didn't even go into lunar orbit. It just waited until the CSM came overhead, and immediately just in one uh, uh, brute force met up with the CSM and redocked with it. And then um, uh, once all the astronauts got back into once the astronauts that were on the LEM got back into the CSM, the CSM ejected the LEM, and the LEM just stayed in, or the ascent module just stayed in lunar orbit, or in some cases it actually crashed back onto the moon. And I think today, um, uh, or no, I'm thinking of the descent module. I was going to say today you can look at the moon through a telescope and you can see like the Apollo lunar modules, but that's just the descent modules. So, what I've done is I've built a spacecraft, or I've built a rocket in Kerbal Space Program. Um, it doesn't perfectly mimic the Apollo spacecraft, only in the sense that um, the rocket to get off of the Earth or get off Kerbin has it gets off Kerbin in one stage, whereas the Saturn V had, I think, two stages. And also, my lunar module is just one module that both lands on the moon and leaves the moon. There's no separate descent module and ascent module. But there's a separate lunar module from the rest of the spacecraft, which stays in lunar orbit. And there's 3 dudes that I take on this mission, just like the real thing. And I built it all myself, and it actually works really good. I've gone to the moon and back a few times successfully with it. And I've been really excited to show this off. I've just had I've had no time to do any Kerbal stuff or live streaming lately. There's been a lot going on in life and in work. But I'm going to boot up Kerbal Space Program here. And we're going to go to the moon, Apollo style. Unless my computer crashes. Because it's not doing what I want it to do right now. There we go. Get the stream up on my phone here. Not that anybody's here. Whoops. Maybe I shouldn't have done this on a Thursday night, but that's okay. We will press on. There we go. So I will stick this right here. Also, I'm wearing my lapel mic, so hopefully everything looks good. All right, switch to this. Yay! Okay. Says I have 2 flights in progress. I completely forget what that is. So, vehicle assembly building. So I'll show you the rocket, of course, before we actually blast off. So, of course, because we're going to the moon, that's part of our How Do You Do, Fellow Gays series of missions. So we will... Oh, you haven't even been able to hear me. Oh my goodness. I forgot to put my mic on. Sorry, it's probably about to get loud if you've been listening to me. I was wondering, I was like, geez, the VU meter on my mixer is barely registering. Oops. Like 5 minutes before I went live, I had to go to the bathroom, so I took it off, and now I've forgotten to put it back on. Okay, bear with me. But of course, nobody's watching, so, or very few people. Nobody I know, as far as I know, yet's watching, so nobody's been complaining. Okay, you can probably hear me better now, hopefully. So I just called it Apollo, so I'll load it up here. And before I forget, I'll change my mission flag to the How Do You Do, Fellow Gays. It's our missions to the moon. So here it is. It slightly resembles a Saturn V, which I love. And I've done some extra stuff that's actually not even necessary. For example, I've got this launch escape system on top. So instead of the parachute on top, we have a launch escape system, which what this is, and of course this is what the real Saturn V rocket had, as well as many other rockets, but it's basically a small solid rocket engine attached to the spacecraft. And I've configured it so that if you've ever played Kerbal Space Program, up at the top to the left of your altitude is a red abort button. And you can program that red abort button to do certain things when you click it. Could be anything. Doesn't even necessarily have to be related to aborting. But what I've done is I've programmed my abort button so that what it does, if I hit that button, if something goes horribly wrong during launch or even before launch, I hit the abort button, and what it does is it separates the capsule from the rest of the rocket along with the escape tower, and it fires the escape system's solid rocket motor to propel the spacecraft up and away at a breakneck pace away from any danger. And then I can stage again to jettison the escape system and deploy my parachutes and hopefully land safely. So that's one thing I've done here. So here is my command and service module. I've got the 3-person capsule, fuel tank, and this is a shroud in here, but what's inside this is a small liquid fuel engine. So there's liquid fuel in here. I've got solar panels. An earlier version of this rocket, I didn't have solar panels. I kind of wanted to see how it worked with going straight off battery power, and I can do it, but no sense doing it when it costs practically nothing to have solar panel on there, or solar power on there rather, and not run out of electric power at the worst moment. And then down here, here's my lunar module. So I've got a Mark II lander can. It can hold 2 people, again, just like the Apollo lunar module. This little deal right here is a remote guidance unit. It allows you to control the lunar module without anybody being in it. So it's basically radio control. I had put this on here because what I wanted to do was, once the mission was over and I redocked with the CSM, I could remotely command the lunar module to basically launch itself into the moon's surface so that it wasn't just sitting in lunar orbit being space junk. However, the last time, I've used it successfully before, but last time I couldn't get it to work. I wasn't sure why, so whatever. We have some linear RCS thrusters, of course, very important. I don't have linear RCS thrusters on the CSM. I guess you don't really need them as long as everything works correctly. And in between the CSM and the lunar module is a docking port. So they're docked to each other to begin with, and then, well, I'll show you how it all works when we're in space. And structurally, this really doesn't work very well, so I've added these struts, which help a little bit, but it's still kind of wibbly wobbly. The rocket sort of wibble wobbles about this point a little bit. And then the lunar module is actually propelled by these monopropellant engines. So I have a big tank of monopropellant that serves both these engines and, of course, the RCS thrusters. These 2 things right here are basically just reaction wheel modules. They help steer the rocket when I have this whole big rocket attached. Of course, it's big and heavy, and it's very slow and cumbersome to steer once you get in space when the engine's not running. So I added these to help steer it a little bit faster, rather than just depending on the reaction wheels inside the command module. They use a ton of electric power, but it's not a big deal because we have solar panels. I have some Sepratron rockets here, so when I jettison this big rocket, they fire just to help propel the rocket away from us. And I've got some aerodynamic wings just to help it be a bit more stable in space. This is all liquid fuel, and this is all powered by the largest liquid fuel engine you can get in Kerbal Space Program, the Mammoth engine. And yeah, this is my sort of homebrew Saturn V rocket and Apollo spacecraft, which I'm pretty excited about. So, Something else we've got to do before we launch is we got to name these things. Now, of course, the thing with the Apollo space program was that the both the command and service module and the lunar module, they each had a name. For example, Apollo 11's CSM was called Columbia, and Apollo 11's lunar module was called Eagle, and that's where the phrase "the Eagle has landed" comes from. Eagle was the name of the lunar module. A fun factoid that I really like was that Apollo 10, which did go to the moon but didn't land. The purpose of Apollo 10 was to test the lunar module but not land it. Apollo 10's CSM was called Charlie Brown, and Apollo 10's lunar module was called Snoopy, which I find just absolutely adorable and hilarious. But NASA didn't like it, and NASA gave the astronauts, they let the astronauts name the spacecrafts themselves, and that's what they chose to name them. And then afterwards NASA was like, yeah, we're not letting you do that anymore. They wanted them all to have, prestigious names. So anyway, we have to name these things. I haven't named them yet. So let's do that. Configure vessel naming. So I have to come out. I want something like, Columbia and Eagle, but different. So let's call this. Let's call it Mexico. That's the name of our CSM. And then the lunar module, instead of Eagle, we'll call it Yellow Belly Tit. Yay! Okay. Cool. I like it. Awesome. We got Mexico. Yellow Belly Tit. Awesome. All right. And we've got our mission flag set up, and we're ready. We're ready to launch an Apollo style. Go on an Apollo style moon mission. I love this thing. I'm actually kind of proud that I was able to piece this rocket together and actually make it work. Before we actually launch, I'll demonstrate the escape system to you. So if we were just sitting here on the pad, or I don't know, let's actually do this. We'll launch off, and I have no sound for some reason. It must be coming out of my mixer. And oh no, the engines have cut off. What do we do? Abort! Yay! Jettison that, bring out our parachutes, and we're safe. So there's a little, and all our dudes survive. So there's a little demonstration of the launch escape system. Are you playing this on Steam? I bought the game via Steam. So I don't know if that answers your question. I just start it from the start menu. I just type Kerbal Space Program and it opens. So we're going to revert to launch. And I got to fix my sound. So I have to do this and go into my mixer settings. Output device. Kerbal Space Program, we want that. Hopefully that works. All right, let's go to daytime. All right, to the moon. Oops. There we go. Yay! We have kind of a realistic thrust to weight ratio on this thing. we're off like a herd of turtles. No roll program required on this because it's a cylindrical, symmetrical rocket. So I start this thing with the lunar module, the electricity and monopropellant all turned off, just so the CSM doesn't accidentally use it. So, speaking of roll program, there was kind of an interesting video on YouTube that that I watched one time that kind of answered kind of a neat question that I never wondered about, but it was very cool to learn about. And the video was about why do cylindrical rockets like the Saturn V, why do they still have a roll program that runs when the rocket first launches? Like, what's the point of rolling the rocket? It's a cylindrical rocket. The center of thrust is right in the middle of it. Like, what's the point of that? And it turns out it's because when the rocket is just sitting there on the launch pad, when the rocket's just sitting on the launch pad, the rotation of the Earth causes the guidance system, so all the gyroscopes and stuff, to move a little bit. And so I'm going to get this thing up to, I think I'll go up to 100 kilometers. This rocket, this first stage, does have enough delta V to get me up to like 150, but 100 is fine. When the rocket is just sitting on the pad before it launches, the rotation of the Earth causes the gyroscopes and all the other electromechanical devices that tell the guidance computer where the rocket is in space. They move a little bit. And so when the rocket finally launches, the first thing it needs to do is rotate itself to get all those gyroscopes back to their neutral point so that all the math that the guidance computer does still works out correctly. Otherwise, they would have had to add a bunch more code and processing to account for the rotation of the Earth. So that's why they have a roll program, even though aerodynamically they don't need it. So we're just going to get this thing into a circular orbit. That's good. So if I go to point this thing towards my maneuver, you'll see it moves very slowly. And that's even with these extra reaction wheel modules I put working. Before, this thing moved so slowly that I couldn't get it into its proper attitude before it was time to do my next burn. So really, I mean, this goes against what Apollo did to begin with. I need to start burning now. Because really the first stage of the Saturn V ejected while they were still in... Oh, I forgot to eject my launch escape system. I should have done that still in the atmosphere. Oops. That's alright. Lost a little bit of delta V to the extra weight, but no worries. At least I went to 100 kilometer instead of 150. Yeah, the Saturn V had, I think, 2 stages. Maybe it was even 3. I don't remember anymore. All right. But anyway, it's fine. We're still somewhat realistic. So, we are in Earth orbit now. So here's what happens next. We are going to separate from the rocket. Bye! and then we need to undock, and I forget if this is when the Apollo spacecraft did this, but we're going to do it now. We're going to undock from the lunar module. I haven't actually bothered to read how accurate this is to Apollo, but it's way more accurate than the stock, spacecraft that Kerbal Space Program gives you. So, first thing I want to do is move a dude into the lunar module. So who are our dudes? Well, we've got Gwenvis Kerman, Uri Kerman, and we've got another one of my favorites, Kerman. So I'm gonna move Kerman into the lunar module for this next step. So we're gonna go transfer crew. I'm gonna transfer Kerman into the lunar module. And next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna turn on the electric charge and the monopropellant of the lunar module, and we are going to undock from the CSM, and I'm going to switch to the lunar module and set this as target, point towards it. Oh, why isn't the reaction wheels normal? There we go. And we are just going to point this thing upwards. Oh, piece of the rocket still stuck to it. We're going to point this thing this way. And actually, I don't need to do any translation thrust. We've already moved out of the way, I think. Maybe I'll move this way a little bit, just to be clear of it for when we stage again, because the next step is I'm going to jettison this fairing. Okay. And then I'm going to set this as my target, point towards it. And point towards this. And we're just going to redock them on the front now. So the lunar module was originally docked on the back of the CSM. Now we're going to dock it to the front of the CSM. So it's just a final stage rendezvous. Looks good. I like the little flag. Love it. And turn RCS off. Done. Okay. We are now docked. We have the lunar module docked to the front of us. I'm going to transfer Kerman back into the CSM. And point this whole thing prograde again. Oh, I got to turn off the lunar modules. What I'll actually do is pause that. Oh, what have I just done? I just did something bad. Oh no, what did I jettison? I just completely screwed up this mission and I didn't do a quick save. What have I done? Did I do anything? Oh no, I just activated my engine. Okay, good. Quick save. What I meant to do was press the Alt key, do this, and I'm just going to refill the lunar module's monopropellant and electricity from the CSM. Pause that. All right, so we're good. The lunar module has full resources once again. And so now we have this whole thing, and next step is to go to the freaking moon. So, set its target. And I don't think I really need to fix my orbital inclination. We'll just add a maneuver. Why is my focus on the moon? And let's go to the freaking moon. Whoa, when did this get all smooth? It must be because of my focus or something. Let's just do that and fix it this way. Let's get into... The last time I tested this rocket, I tried staying in a higher lunar orbit of like 30 kilometers, and I ended up not having enough fuel, or not having enough monopropellant in the lunar module to actually successfully get back to the CSM. So I'll go into a 10 kilometer orbit above the moon this time. There, let's do that. And we will do that burn 30 minutes from now. So, something that you could do, actually, before I say what I'm about to say, I'm just going to do a quick Google to make sure I don't say something incorrect, because I want to give more Apollo history. Okay. I was looking up if, well, anyway, a bit of safety / redundancy that was built into the Apollo spacecraft was that if something went horribly wrong and the CSM lost use of its engines, you could use the lunar module's engines to get the astronauts back to Earth. And so the Apollo program had this capability. I was just doing a quick lookup to see if that's what Apollo 13 had to do, but no, I don't think it was, just based on what I did there. For some reason I thought it was, but maybe I was just reading about an imaginary scenario. But with this spacecraft that I've built, I've actually successfully done that as well. One time I accidentally hit the space bar and I jettisoned my CSM engine and fuel tank, and so I just kept the command module docked to the lunar module, and I used the lunar module's monopropellant engines to get the whole shebang back to Kerbal, and it didn't work. There was plenty of delta V. So let's speed this up. Okay. Here we go. Lots of space junk floating around. I've actually started a program of just, well, you remember in the first stream I demonstrated using that claw to grab a stranded spacecraft. I've been using that spacecraft I built with that claw purely just to go up, grab space junk, and then send it back down to Earth to try and get space junk. So I've been having fun clearing a bunch of space junk out of orbit. Okay, that can go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Okay. How do you focus on a spacecraft? Oh my god, I hate this bug where whenever you have a spacecraft like this, where it's two spacecrafts docked together, anytime you go from the map mode back to the normal mode, it just zooms you way out for some reason. So there's the moon. Okay, can I focus on this, please? No? Not gonna let me? And, oh, I guess we're on a crash course with the moon. I didn't know that. Okay, let's see. How do I want to do this? I could do it that way. I guess that's the best way. Doesn't cost a whole lot of fuel. Yeah, let's do that. So that was radial out. Okay, so I will just point radial out. And I'll just burn a little bit. There we go. Yay! Okay. So in preparation, I will point retrograde. And we'll get ourselves down to the moon. we still on the right course? Yes, we are. Okay. So I should just make a little maneuver here. Perfect. So, fast forward again. And we'll start this burn at about T-minus 8 seconds. All right, we are now in lunar orbit. There's a another landing can from a previous test of this rocket, or a test of this spacecraft still orbiting. So here we are. So the next step, we are going to point this thing prograde again. And we are going to transfer 2 dudes into the lander. And those dudes are going to be Gwenvis and Kerman. And we're going to leave Yuri to hold the fort in the CSM. So, transfer crew. Gwenvis to the landing can. And Kerman to the landing can. And let's circle around to the light side of the moon. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I should quick save. We are going to turn the landing can's electric charge and monopropellant on, and we are going to undock. We are going to switch to the lander can, and the bug is going to do its thing again. There we go. All right, we have undocked. We have Mexico and Yellow Belly Tit. Did I actually name them correctly? Yellow Belly Tit and Show Me Mexico. I guess we're too close, but we got Yellow Belly Tit, so we're good enough. Okay, so we are going to point upright, and we are going to turn our CS on. We're going to perform an evasive maneuver to get out of the way of the CSM. And we're going to friggin' start our descent to the moon. Apollo style. Alright, that should be good enough for now. Put our landing gear out before we forget. There's our shadow. Yeah! The yellow belly tit has landed. Alright. Sweet. Okay. Let's do a friggin' EVA. We'll send Kerman out. Oop. It's too bad that the program has these graphical glitches. Apparently a lot of people have them, and it's caused by just having the graphics quality on maximum settings. Or on maximum highest settings or whatever. So, plant flag. Hell yeah! How do you do, fellow gays? So Apollo 11's landing site was called Tranquility Base. So we're gonna call this Anxiety Base. And this is fellow gays too. Yay! Anxiety Base. Copy, paste. Ah, he doesn't like the moon's surface. What do we got? The ground materials appear to be a combination of basaltic rocks and breccia. All right. All right, we're done here. It's a freaking rock. What do you want? Whee! Oops. Oh. Oh dear. No. Dang it. Climb. Grab. Something. Board. Okay. And it zooms us way the hell out again. So, Where is Mexico? There's Mexico. We are here. And I might as well wait until Mexico comes around again. And then maybe possibly, I'm just wondering how close I can get to brute force meeting up with it. Let's try this. What direction was I coming from? If I was landing at a heading of 270, then I probably want to go... I always get my headings mixed up. I think I always take off in the other direction. Oh, we're at quite an angle here, actually. Let's go over to Mexico. See what our heading is. Oh, we are at a heading of like that. Does it give us a advanced orbital info? Inclination. Okay. Well, it's something close to that. So, let's go back to Yellow Belly Tit. And let's just see what happens. So I want to go this way, I guess. I think that's the same direction as Mexico. Something like this. Let's try and get over the rocks rather than crashing into them. Come on. Get us over the rocks. Oh, how embarrassing would that be? I should quick save. Cannot quick save while about to crash. Thanks, Kerbal Space Program. Let's point this way. So, am I going in the right direction? I'm at a really crappy inclination, so I need to go this way. Nope, wrong way. This way. There we go. Let's get at least somewhat on the right inclination. I guess we are on a straight 90 inclination. I don't know why I thought we were on something different. How are we doing here? Good? Okay. Let's, whoops. Okay, perfect. So, Mexico's right there. If I set his target, what happens if I do this? Okay. Well, I was almost there. I almost had I had the right idea with meeting up with them brute force. That's all right. we'll just go straight into orbit and then meet up with them that way. Yeesh, I'm worried about the amount of monopropellant I've got left. I've got everything turned on, right? Yeah, I do. Yeah. Hokey dokes. So we will do that. Circularize our orbit. Oops. Did not mean to do that. Okay. I'll just carefully watch my orbit here, make sure I don't crash. I think we're good though. Okay, so we should have plenty of delta V. It's awful scary looking at that really small amount in the gauge. But we have 200 meters per second of delta V, so we should be good. So now it's just rendezvousing with Mexico. So let's see, what can I do here? Our inclination is slightly off, but I wonder if it's off not enough to matter. So I'm just wondering here if I, whoops, no, go away. So if I do, notice of course there's no solar panels on the lunar module where we've run through most of our battery power. Add maneuver. And see if I can just brute force this. Oh yeah, it's not gonna work. Okay. All right, I'll do this properly. So we'll start by going here and straightening up our inclination. There we go. And see if I do, well, I won't worry about that. Okay, we'll do this first. Okay. And if I remember right from the tutorial on rendezvousing, next thing I have to do is go over here and line up my apoapsis with the targets.
like that. Okay. Now it's just a matter of making burns until we meet up. Oh yeah, I forgot all about the, I can do this. Oops. Let's see. Get rid of this, get rid of this. So my apoapsis matches the targets. My periapsis doesn't quite, but that's okay. Actually, let me just do this, do this, do this. Oh, jeez, it's gonna take forever if I do that. Let's do this. Whoops. Yeah, see, the problem is I'm just slightly ahead, and because my orbit's lower, I'm going faster, which means I have to come all the way around and do a bunch of waiting. Let's see. Time is not really an important factor in Kerbal Space Programs. So let me turn SAS off, because that's using battery power. Oh, I guess the communications is still losing battery power. Yeah, I'm, let me turn battery power off. Is that good now? Yes. Okay. And we'll just keep doing this do-si-do for a few days or weeks or whatever. Or maybe, actually, let me try another approach. Let's do this. Turn electricity back on. I'm going to point retrograde. And I'm just going to reduce my periapsis a bit, and that'll give us a better speed differential. Okay, let's do that. So now, here we go. Okay. Ooh, look at this. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Okay, done. A maneuver in which we don't need to make any burn. We're going to be floating around for 5 days. So, wow, that couldn't have worked out better. I want to turn electricity off again. I'll turn monopropellant off just for good measure. Quick save again. And we'll just fast forward time. Oh, are we going to be waiting a super long time? Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that's okay. We'll do this again. And we'll do this. There we go. Oh, because my periapsis is below 8.5 kilometers. Oh no, we're going to be sitting here for a long time waiting for 5 days to go by. Oh shoot. Why can't I force it faster? Oh. Well, going to be sitting here for a while. Maybe if I switch to the other spacecraft. We'll see how Mexico's doing. So we will skip ahead 5 days, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Here we go. And we'll switch back to yellow belly tit. Okay. So I need almost 2 more days. So we'll go back to Mexico. And we'll go to day... Oh, no! No! Load quick save. I'm glad I made that quick save. I'm so dumb. I didn't think it would allow me to time accelerate that quickly. But that's okay. We made a quick save. Switch to... And we're going to go to day 13. All right. So I can almost kind of watch it this way and see when they're going to meet up. But I'll go back to yellow belly tit and see how much time left. 3 hours. Okay. So we will go back to Mexico because we can time accelerate faster. 3 more hours. Okay. And 1 hour left. Excellent. So I will switch back to Mexico again. try that. And there's Yellow Belly Tit, 20 kilometers away. Is that number shrinking? Yes, it is. Okay. So I'll actually just stay here, set that as target, and we'll just watch Yellow Belly Tit come closer. Is it gonna come closer? Or is it gonna... Oh no, it's floating away. What? Did we pass our separation? Oh crap, our separation drifted. No! Oh no. Uh-oh. Let's do this. Shit. Let's do this. We're gonna point towards Yellow Belly Tit. We're gonna cheat a little and just do a burn. And I just left lunar orbit. Oh shit. Okay, let's not do that. Orbit. And get ourselves back in orbit. There we go. Shit. Okay, let's load quick save. So I screwed up because our separation drifted. Set as target. Okay. Switch to. Oh no, there's, okay. Oh, did we have one more orbit to go and I didn't know it? Wait, what's our time? Our time is 1 hour. Okay, so this says, oh, so I must have passed our closest separation and didn't even know it. Okay. Let's just do this. We'll be patient and we'll wait out this 1 hour and 13 minute Kerbal time. Actually, I'm very impatient, so I'm going to quick save again, and I will, let's see, we'll go 11 days, 526. I'll switch back to Mexico one more time. Bring the chat back up again. There we go. Not that anybody's been saying anything, nobody's been watching this, which is fine. I'm enjoying this anyway. Ah, I see what happened. For some reason, the two spacecrafts are on different clocks, which is odd. Anyway, I know to go to like 3:48. Wait, did it happen again? I'm so confused. Okay, switch to. Did I encounter like a Kerbal bug or something? Okay, switch to. Did I encounter like a Kerbal bug or something? No? Do I have the right target? I didn't target like something random, did I? No, I've got the right target. And that says we've got the right separation, so I don't know what the, I don't know what Mexico's map is saying, but it says we're going to meet up right here. Should I make any final burns? Try and get that even closer. Ooh! Sure. Turn electricity on. Oh, no, not for that. That's the remote guidance unit. Electric charge, monopropellant, and point towards maneuver. Okay, that little burn. Whoops! What the hell? Go this way. Alright, what have we got? Oh, that completely killed it. Why did that happen? Alright, have I got to brute force this? There's Mexico. Am I getting closer or not? I can't tell. We're 18 kilometers away. Okay, we are not getting closer. So, I'm going to burn towards Mexico. What? Oh. Okay, we're getting closer now. I don't know why the map is not working correctly. I'm just going to brute force this and see if it works, and if it doesn't, then we'll go back to square one. Oh god, I do not have a lot of monopropellant left. Let's do this. We will go this way. Let's try that. What do you think of that? A little more. Maybe up a little. I am not doing this right. But for some reason the map is not working right. So we'll just get her done however it needs to get done. I have 109 meters per second of delta V left to make this rendezvous work. We are getting closer. What? What the hell? Why isn't my... Oh! Oh shoot, I'm out of electric charge. Okay, I'm turning on electric charge for this thing. Oh god. I've got so little fuel left. Oh, we're coming in fast. Oh dear. Uh, 50 meters per second of Delta V left. Okay. I think we're gonna make it. $40 meters per second of Delta V left. Oops. We're getting farther away. There we go. I don't know why I've tested this rocket. This is probably like the 6th or 7th time I've flown this rocket to the moon and back successfully, and I didn't have this issue with not being able to rendezvous. But we're making it work. We have 30 meters per second of Delta V left, and very little electrical charge. Go over to Mexico and we will point towards target. "30 meters per second of Delta V left." I've never had a rendezvous come this close to the wire. All right, we're gonna make it. Yes! I can't believe we made it with 23 meters per second of delta V to spare. That was really bad. That was my worst ever rendezvousing with the CSM. I'm not sure why that was so hard for me to do, and why the map mode went from like, oh, you're going to be 0.7 kilometers apart to, oh, you're going to be 18 kilometers apart. It's like, what? Okay, so here's what we do next. We move what little resources the lunar module has left to the CSM. Okay, so we want this and this in. Okay, CSM is full of monopropellant again, not that we'll need it anymore. And just for good measure, even though we have solar panels, we will transfer the remaining electric charge into the CSM. Or actually, let's, oh, our solar panels are... What? Wait! Why aren't our solar panels working? Blocked by Kerbal? What? But the sun's out. I don't know where it is, but it's out. Oh, is the sun behind Kerbal? But it's lit up. You can see it lit up. What do you mean blocked by Kerbal? The hell are you talking? We're in a solar eclipse right now, apparently. It's just, wow. Okay, our solar panels are not working for some reason, so I guess I better actually transfer our electric charge into the CSM, although we've got plenty anyway. Okay, so here's what we do next. Oh, I gotta not forget our two dudes. We will transfer them back into the CSM. Wouldn't it be awful if I... Which I think I've done that once. Oops. I did a moon mission, and I went to send the LEM into the moon, and I left the two guys on it. That just says, just murdered them. Just smashing them into the moon. Okay, everybody is on the CSM now. So what we do is, I'm going to point this whole thing retrograde. I'm going to burn just until I am suborbital, which is that. I'm going to undock with the LEM. I'm going to turn the LEM's remote guidance module on just in case it decides to work. Undock, point prograde, and put us back into orbit. And can I control this? Yes, I can. And we will point the LEM retrograde. And there, that was all the monopropellant it had left. It's going to smash into the moon. And now we can focus on getting everybody home. Let's see. I may have to fix my inclination here. We'll find out. Maybe. Or can I just brute force it? Ha! Nice. Okay. It's a bit brute force, but that's okay. It'll work. And we just heard the LEM smash into the moon. Very good. All right. I should quick save. All right. Oh, did I just... Did I just do what I think I did? I think I did. Yep, I just smashed the spacecraft right into the moon. I was kind of just blindly following the maneuver because it was dark. But I really shouldn't have done my burn there. That's okay. Oops. Yeah, so we don't want to do that. Let's just point prograde before we smash into the moon, get us back into orbit. We'll point radial out. Okay, that should be fine. Oopsie. Okay. If I do a maneuver here, can I get back to Earth plus? Or do I have to? Maybe I have to adjust my inclination, which is fine. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. Kerbal. Come on. Kerbal. What the heck's going on? Oh, it's because I'm out of radio communication right now. I kind of like that real-world aspect of Kerbal Space Program, but it's also annoying at the worst times. If you lose radio communication, you can't make maneuvers anymore. So I gotta wait till we come to the light side of the moon again. There we go. All right. Oh no, it's still not letting me. Why can't I set target? Can I do this? Yeah, I can set that as target. Is it because I can set the moon as the target? Okay, fine. I don't need your stupid targeting. I will do this, which should get me roughly on the correct orbital plane. Oop. And then I'll burn back to Kerbal. See ya, moon. Oh shit, we're coming in fast. Gotta dump all my fuel. Okay. Have we ejected? Nope, apparently not. There we go. And point retrograde. Okay, we are ready for re-entry. We're gonna be coming in hot. We have no ablative heat shield, but so far I've never needed one. Oh, we're seeing like 9 Gs. All right. Yay! Recover vessel. And that's my Apollo style moon rocket that I made. I really like it. It works pretty darn well, you know, for being made by me, who really doesn't have any expert experience in Kerbal Space Program. I think it's pretty sweet. Things I wish I could improve. I wish there was a way to like automatically cause the launch tower to eject once you're above, like, I don't know, 50,000 or 50 kilometers or something. Maybe there is. I'll have to look that up. So I wish there was a way to automatic, because I always forget to jettison that. I always carry it all the way to space with me. I need to figure out, because there must be a way to like properly structurally attach the CSM and the lunar module. Other than that, it's pretty darn sweet. It works well. Its biggest limitations are the fact that I'm just not great at rendezvousing. Although I usually do better than what I've done today. But it looks friggin' cool. It does the thing. And also I've taken this to Minmus and back successfully, so it will do Minmus as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Something I'd like to try is, instead of monopropellant, I would like to try the electric engine, because there is an electrically powered engine in Kerbal. It uses electricity, but it also uses xenon, so instead of an RCS tank, this would be like a xenon tank. And then there would probably be like huge solar panels that fold out on the LEM to power the electric engine. It may not work at all. The electric engine, the thrust is so low that it's definitely not good for, there's not enough thrust for a general purpose spacecraft. Maybe there's not even enough thrust to get off the moon. I don't know. I'll have to experiment and find out. But that's something else I'd like to try. So, I mean, aside from building, like, if I try to build like a station on the moon or something, I've really exhausted what I can do as far as rocketry is concerned for getting to the moon in Minmus. So I guess the next big step is, can I build something that can go to Duna, which is the Kerbal equivalent of Mars. So of course, Kerbal Space Program basically gives you a free rocket that can go to the moon in Minmus. But I don't think they give you a rocket that can go to Duna and back. So that'll be the next big challenge, I guess, for me. But there you go. That was a Apollo-style mission to the moon. Really like it. Really fun. I think it's way more fun than using the easy, the entire spacecraft goes to the moon and back. So yeah, it's a lot of fun to fly that. So there you go. I've had like 1 or 2 people watching this whole stream the whole time. I wish there had been more. That's okay. I chose to do this on a Thursday night, and I'm guessing that's at least one reason why. But there you go. To whoever watched this or watches the archive of it, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good night. Bye.